This video is intended for use for people who have laptops that spend the majority of their time on the road, maybe at different hotspots, Starbucks, other locations, maybe sometimes at home, sometimes at work. Doesn't really matter if you travel a lot. The main thing is you want to have complete control over when the Windows updates are downloaded and installed, because you want to be able to turn your computer on and off when you want to and not find that it's in the middle of downloading and installing updates, and you may have to wait as long as half an hour to an hour for that process to complete. Because once the update process has started, you cannot interrupt it. And if it's been quite a long time since you've done it, you may find you have 15 or 20 updates, up to 200 megabytes of information to download. And depending on the speed of your connection, the speed of your computer, and a few other things, that could take up to an hour. So you really don't want that to happen when you're at a Starbucks and you're on your way to a meeting and suddenly you find that your computer is tied up doing updates and may take who knows how long to complete. So we're going to set this up so we have 100% control over when updates happen. The only downside to this is you do have to make a note to at least once a week go in and do this process. So I recommend you set a reminder on your smartphone, your calendar, or wherever you're going to best notice that it's time for you to go do the updates on your computer. I'm using Windows 7. Most versions of Windows have this little start option down here in the bottom left. It looks different depending on the version of Windows you have, but basically it does exactly the same thing. The exception is Windows 8. Windows 8 has no functional equivalent of the start button unless you've downloaded Classic Shell. If you've downloaded Classic Shell, it'll look pretty much like what we're looking at here. If you haven't, you need to press the flag key, which is the little sort of waving flag, what they call the Windows key, and then the X for X-ray key. And that will bring up the Microsoft 8 semi-equivalent to the Start menu, but not quite. It's more designed for system administration tasks. So I'm going to go to Start. I'm going to go to Control Panel. And there we are. If you have Windows 8 and you've done the flag key and hit letter X, you should be looking at something roughly similar. Now there are 4 or 5 different ways to have Control Panel appear on your computer, and I have no way of knowing exactly what it is you're looking at. You may have something similar to this, but you may have large icons turned on, you may have small icons turned on, you may have folder view turned on, or you may have some view that I've never even seen before turned on. You'll have to do your best to follow along. We're going to go to System and Security. We're going to go to Windows Update. We're going to go to Change Settings. Now this is the setting that you want to have complete control over updates on your computer. Check for updates, but let me choose whether to download and install them. The other thing you want to do is to have, if they're available, they may not be available on your machine, but if they are, have all of these checkboxes checked. So when you verify that this is how yours is set up, click the OK key. And the next thing you always want to do is go ahead and check for updates, even if the most recent check for updates was very recently, because you never know when Microsoft is going to post another update. And if you're going to go through the process of doing your weekly updates, you want to make sure you catch them all. And this generally doesn't take that much time. It does depend on the speed of your computer and how many updates there are and the speed of your connection and so forth. So it could take up to, I've seen it take 5 minutes. Anyhow, what we have here is we have one important update is available, one optional update is available, and no updates are currently selected, which means we need to go in and tell it what we want selected. The other thing I'm going to do here for demonstration purposes is I'm going to restore some hidden updates, and I'm going to restore this update to show you how to hide updates that you might not want. So it's going to go off and check for updates again. It's just one of those things that Microsoft does. Okay. So right now we have the same information as before. So you always want to start with optional updates. You click on it, and it says the optional update is Bing Desktop. Now Bing Desktop is one of Microsoft's new things. It's not tremendously popular with a lot of users, but some users do like it. Personally, I don't use it and prefer not to have it, so I don't install it. You may want to install it for a while, play with it, and then uninstall it. Should you choose to either not install it at all, or install it and then go back and uninstall it and never install it again, then what you want to do is right click on it and you want to click Hide Update. And then you want to click OK. Now you'll see that there's only one important update available because the optional update I just hid. Now, if there was an optional update there that I wanted, as well as one that I didn't want, then I would have selected the one that I wanted and hidden the one that I didn't want. And then, of course, these numbers here would be different. So we'll go into when important update is available. And this is a pretty common one that they do, Windows Malicious Software Removal Tool. This gets updated on a relatively regular basis. Now, if there's lots of updates, I recommend you just click up here, and that'll go through and select them all. Since there's only one update here, just clicking that checkbox there is the functional equivalent. We'll click OK. And because there's only a couple of updates here, I'm going to go ahead and go through the entire process. Click Install Updates. And we'll let this video run while it's doing this. This should go fairly quickly. One of the things it will do is create a restore point. A restore point is a way to go backwards in time on your computer. Should something happen that allows you to still use a computer, but it's not behaving in the way you would prefer, and you can go back and restore it to a previous point. I will be creating a video on that at some point in the future. In the meantime, as usual, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about any of the tasks or the videos that we've posted, please do feel free to come into the St. George Senior Citizen Center Computer Lab Tuesday through Friday, 9 to 11:30, and get free one-on-one support if you're over 60 years old. If you're under 60, we do request a $7 donation. Any donations are always appreciated. Bring in your computer if you have one. If you happen to only have a desktop, that's fine. We have monitors and keyboards. You don't need to bring those in. Just bring the tower unit in, and we'll hook it up for you and help you out as best we can. A couple of caveats: we don't do virus removal, and we don't do operating system installs. But we have done things like help people hook up printers, and we have done things like help people get their computers talking to their wireless routers, so that when they take them home and plug the wireless router into the whatever modem they have, be it cable modem or DSL, everything's actually working. So we're kind of a full service organization. We also don't open up equipment and swap hard drives or do anything like that. We have a company we partner with where we send people to do that sort of thing. Okay, so this is still doing the update. It's taken a little longer than I expected, but it should finish fairly quickly. Okay, there we go. Now, some updates require the computer to be restarted. It looks to me like this particular one does not. I'm going to go ahead and close this window. But before I do that, if a restart was required, it would say right here, restart computer to complete installing updates. And what that means is that there are files that are currently locked that need to be updated and can only be updated during the reboot process. So it will restart your computer, unlock those files, update them, and then bring your computer back up again. Another way to check and see that your computer needs to be shut down in order to install the updates is there would be an exclamation point right here on the shutdown menu. And in this case, you would click shutdown, it would install the updates, and then what you might find is the next time you turn it on, it has to complete installing the updates. But I believe that if you just go over here and click restart, that will functionally do the same thing, in that it will do what it can while it's stopping the machine and do the rest of it while it's starting it back up again. So I recommend that you go ahead, if you have an exclamation point right here, it's yellow with a black exclamation point, click restart, watch what happens, and then once the computer's back up again, go back to start and look at shutdown. If shutdown still has an exclamation point against it, then you will actually have to click shutdown to finish installing those updates. Right now I'm going to close this particular menu I have open by moving the cursor over here and left clicking the mouse button. And that concludes this video. Thanks for watching.